Oh, already. Don't want high quality video. All right. What's up, everybody? It is Vashawn Jones, visionary of Fedora Outlier LLC. As I said in the earlier recording, about 5 minutes till 10, I hope you guys had a nice holiday. I hope that you guys had a great Christmas. You got what you wanted. Here in Georgia, it is raining cats and dogs. I mean, it's literally pouring down out there. So I had to order groceries, and they should be here in a bit. And I also have a slight headache. But guess what? I'm not going to let the slight headache or the rain stop me from getting this fabulous product into your ears and hopefully help someone that is a diabetic and is blind, or you don't have to be blind, but if you know someone that is diabetic and they are still pricking their finger, no more finger pricking, right? So I'm gonna tell you my journey as a diabetic. About 22 years. Well, no, before we get started, first of all, this particular broadcast comes out of the Salisbury Assistive Technology Call for the Vets. And I appreciate Dana Dre for letting us take over that. And hopefully you guys are veterans and you're getting this information as well. Or you can just check the replay of the broadcast and you can get it. But we definitely appreciate you guys that have served in our military. We appreciate your service. And more importantly, I appreciate you guys, because if it wasn't for you, I would not be employed and be able to employ the people that I do. So again, salute. Thank you for your service. Listen, shout out to the Facebook viewership, the YouTube viewership, LinkedIn, wherever you guys see this post. Thank you for supporting Fedora Outlier down through the years. It's almost 10 years. I think it's like 10 years. I don't know. In business, I know the government says within 2 years, 80% of the businesses will fail. And within 5 years, 90% of those businesses that did make it after the 2 years would fail. And I know we're well over 5 years, 9 years, probably right at 10. I got to go pay my Secretary of State stuff, and I'll find out exactly when we were registered to start. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. So the Freestyle Libre, Libre, system. And so this started from me about 21 years ago. I kept drinking like cups and cups of water back to back. I had a refrigerator that you just walk up to it, put the cup there, the water would, go in the cup. Now we're talking about 22 years ago, so this was like an advancement in refrigerators. And 32 ounces of water, I would guzzle it down. That's a lot of water. Put the cup back up there, guzzle it down, and then fill the cup back up, and then I would walk away from the refrigerator. So we're talking about, almost 100 ounces of water in just that small 4-minute span of time. Then I would get the urge to just want ice cream or something sweet or some carb, and I would just eat and eat and eat. And then I had to use the bathroom like over and over and over again. And I didn't know what was wrong until the paramedics showed up and I'm laying on the floor. Lethargic is the word that they use, just out of it. I'm in a diabetic coma. My sugar is so high that the professional EMTs could not even read it. They rushed me to the hospital. My wife at the time calls my mom in Virginia. I'm in Georgia. My mom is all panicky. She wants to fly out, this whole thing. And they tell me that I am diabetic. I don't know what that means, right? I hear diabetes and all of that, but, I'm 21 years old at the time. I don't know what that essentially means. I just hear that you have to be on insulin and type 1 and type 2 and metformin and everything that we all know when we're talking about diabetes. And then we talk about bad diabetics. Now, if there was ever a bad diabetic, that is at the time was me, right? That was me, because I am a sweet and potato chip lover. Do you hear me? I am a sweets and potato chip lover. And it's hard. It is crazy hard to be able to manage diabetes, being a person that loves sweets and love carbs, the very two things that we need to really take into moderation, into consideration when we're eating. But I am getting better. When I talk to my endocrinologist, we're working on it. We got a plan of action. Less carbs, more exercise, check your sugar frequently, and just eat right and do the right things. You can have whatever you want. Just have it in moderation and keep track of what you're doing, how you're doing it. And more importantly, the why. Why are you doing it? To stay alive. I want to stay alive. All right. So for those years, I had to prick my finger. I never did it, right? Maybe 10 times a year. Horrible diabetic, right? I'm telling you, I was the worst, right? Because I hated pricking my finger. You know, you got to take your finger, you got to push up the blood, you got to drink a whole bunch of water. I hate water too, by the way. I did hate water. So I wasn't even getting enough water intake. So you're pushing the blood up to your finger and you get it all nice and puffy, you know, and ready to go and all juicy. And then you take the needle, bam! Oh, shoot! Right, this little teeny prick. And then I'm blind and you got the machine and you got the tester in there and you're trying to find the blood. Boop, and then maybe you get it, right? And we all been through it where we found it. Yes. As a blind diabetic, we found it. Boop. Not enough blood to get a reading, right? We've gotten that. Yes, I know. We've gotten that. Not enough blood to get a reading. And so now, boom, you're sticking yourself again. I hated it. Hated it with a passion. In lies what I love. So one prick every 14 days, and it doesn't even hurt, and it's not even in my finger, and it's here, right here. If you see on my arm, get it for the camera. Yeah. Bam. It's a sensor. And again, it has to be changed twice a month. So 2 pricks per month. And again, the prick doesn't even hurt. I mean, you just feel a poof of air, you know, which is better than a bam slam into the finger. So that's one piece. The second part is a reader that I'm looking for, which is right here. If you can see, this is very helpful, right? Because it's just a simple reader. It's touchscreen. Doesn't really work for me because I'm blind. You can stick the strips in there, and you can download the information to a card reader, put it in your computer, share it with your doctor, whatever. Throw that down. I don't need that. So, in addition to, you have a app, and I'm going to demonstrate the app to you in a second. But what you get, this is the needle in the air cushion that catapults this needle into your arm. And the needle, like I said, is a very soft needle. It's not something that hurts at all. So you have this, which is the injector. It looks like you remember back in the day, your parents used to have a little air freshener that sits on the table, and it had that sticky, that gooey stuff. Yeah, it looks like a small one of these, and this is like the needle. And this looks like when you get pizza and you have the dipping sauce. That's what this container looks like. And you take that off. You take this top off here. You put the needle in there, and then you press it up against your arm, and it says and goes into your arm. So I don't want to open any of this up because then I wouldn't be able to use it when it is time to use it. But it's very simple, very, very blind friendly. Makes a lot of sense, does what it says that it's supposed to do. And then you get this, which I showed you, which is the sensor in your arm, right? So now you got the sensor in your arm. Now, an hour later, you're able to check your sugar as many times as you want with the 14-day. If you have the 10-day system, then you have to every 10 days switch out the sensor, and then you have to do that 3 times a month. But again, they have the 14-day sensor as well. And so you get this accessible app on your phone. Hold on one sec. Somebody's calling. So I'm going to connect this up so that you can hear it. So I want you to stop talking to me. I am looking for a cord that I should have had ready. Actually, I did have it ready, and then what I did with it, I don't know. There we go. It fell down. All right, so I'm going to connect my phone and let you hear the app.
Edit button. App switcher. Messages. Instacart. Librelink. Safari. App. Librelink. Active.
All right, so the app is called Librelink.
Librelink. Active. Librelink. Slider menu icon. Button. Vertical navigation. Headings. Container. Sound. Volume. Speaking rate. 85, 80, 70%. 65%. 60%.
All right, I'm going to slow that volume down so you can hear it. So,
Slider menu icon. Button.
That's the menu for the various settings, everything that you need to adjust. So when you first open up the app for the first time, it asks you to create an account, asks you to put in your weight, where do you want your target sugar readings to be. So in my case, 125 to 160. Your name, birth date, all of that great stuff. You have an account, and then you're in the app, and it tells you to apply the sensor. I've already done that, of course. Then you need to scan it. It'll say scan the sensor. It'll calibrate and let you know within an hour you can start checking your sugar readings.
Caret logo caret. Heading. Image. Sensor icon. Button. Caret. Sensor icon. Button.
So you got the sensor icon.
Check glucose. Button.
You got the check glucose, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you in a sec.
Sensor ends in 10 days.
All right, so it says the sensor is in, and it tells me how many days are left on the sensor before I need to replace it. So that's kind of good. Like if you go on vacation and, you're only going for 7 days, then you can just not take anything but your phone and wear the sensor.
Sensor ends in 10 days.
All right, and so that's pretty much it. Everything else is, your settings. You can have, a variety of settings, and you can go through that, once you get the system.
Check glucose. Button.
So all you need to do is double tap on the check glucose button. And you don't need to place the phone in any particular way to get the reading. You just need to be about 1 inch away from the sensor. Your shirt can be on. I've had thick sweaters on because I was in Virginia in the winter and it's cold. You can't do it through a coat and a sweater, though. I've found that out. I tested that. So now I just, I apologize. When I was showing you the sensor, you wear it on your arm. Someplace that isn't going to get caught up with your clothes, anything like that.
Check glucose. Button.
So I'm going to check the glucose.
Alert. Slider menu icon. Ready to scan.
When it says ready to scan, I'm putting it up on my arm. It just
Librelink.
scanned.
Back arrow.
252 milligrams per deciliter and changing slowly.
All right. So sugar is high. Haven't taken my medicine as of yet. That will definitely drop it, but 252. So it's about 100 over. Depending on what I'm going to eat, I'll probably take about 5 units of insulin. And bam, we're back in the ballpark. So the way this came about, I was talking to my endocrinologist and I said, I would love to have something that I could use my iPhone with to be able to check my sugar. She wrote me a prescription for this particular item, the Freestyle Libre system. And when I did my research on it, and this was about 3 weeks ago. No, I'm sorry. This was about 3 months ago. When I did my research on it, the app wasn't available in the US.
Slider menu icon. Button.
Sorry about that. The US App Store. When I went back in December, right before Christmas, she said, well, did you get it? I told her no, because the app wasn't accessible. And she said, just last week, they made it accessible in the United States. So I went and picked up the prescription, logged in, did my thing, and now I, as a diabetic, can check my sugar at any point and don't have to worry about pricking my finger. That's a great thing. It's a modern day miracle for me because, like I said, I wasn't a finger pricker, number one. But of course, getting my sugar readings is very important. And thankfully, I made it this far where me not pricking my finger didn't have me in another coma. And again, that was 21 years ago. And I've been doing better, incrementally better, but better. Now, there is no excuse for me or anyone else, especially if you're blind, to not be able to monitor your sugar, make healthy choices, and live to improve our quality of life on an ongoing basis. So if you guys have any questions about the system, if I didn't explain anything, explain everything as thorough as you need, then email me excellence,
Screen dim.
EXCELLENCE at Fedora, FEDORA, outlier, OUTLIER.com. So excellence at fedoraoutlier.com. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. I'll also be happy to connect you with the manufacturers of the product. You do need a prescription. And if you guys are using the 10-day, you can upgrade to the 14-day. And it's a marvelous, marvelous advancement in diabetic readings. There are others, and we'll talk about those in an upcoming show. But until next time, thank you guys for watching, listening now and in the future. Let's change the world. Let's change the world together. Thank you. Bye-bye.